It's Bengals and Ravens on Sunday at Paycor Stadium. Will the Bengals improve to 1-0 in the AFC North, get to 2-3, and slowly dig themselves out of the 0-3 hole that they started the season in? We will discuss the 5 things that I'll be watching for on Sunday, plus a prediction right now on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to CBT. I'm James Rapien of BengalsTalk.com. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, join the 47,000 plus that have seen all of our videos this week, from Miles Murphy and a one-on-one that we posted earlier today to Jamar Chase, to Cam Taylor-Britt discussing his struggles, and Andre Yosevach literally discussing how he beat the NFL in his fine, appealed his fine, and he won that case. All of that and much, much more. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button right now on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Today's video, by the way, brought to you by BetUS. More on BetUS in just a second. Let's get to the 5 things that I'm going to be watching for on Sunday. And it starts with No, it doesn't. It starts with Joe Burrow. That's right, Joe Burrow in this offense. Will the offense stay hot? They've scored 67 points over the past 2 weeks, and they're in a good position. Everything that we talked about on Enter the Jungle, another thing that you should go watch this week. We led the show with how multiple they are, how they seem to have an answer for anything a defense can throw at them. And I believe that. But it's one thing to do it against the Commanders. It's one thing to do it against the Panthers. They went to Kansas City and scored 25. Can you get to 30 plus this week? And that's something that they probably have to do to win this game. I think that's realistic. And so will this offense stay hot, given the Ravens pass rush, given how the Ravens have played over the past couple of weeks? I think it's pretty interesting to see how that is going to play itself out. No Mike McDonald, the former Ravens defensive coordinator, seemed to have the Bengals number. Well, the Bengals now have a bunch of answers, whether it's their tight ends, their running backs. They can use Mike Gesicki. In fact, I think Mike Gesicki might have a big game this week. Didn't last week. I think that could change on Sunday. And so will this offense stay hot? I think that's a huge, huge question and something I'll be watching for on Sunday. Number 2, perfect Joe. Joe Burrow said he has to be damn near perfect to win the game on Sunday. All right, expectations are high. Let's see if Joe can match that. And I think they're going to need him to. I mentioned already, I think they need to score 30 plus to win. How do they do that? By Joe Burrow, or with Joe Burrow playing at an extremely high level. And he's not going to be perfect. And there are going to be incompletions and there's going to be like that stuff is okay as long as it's a few plays where you get got. And you really need Joe Burrow to know what the Ravens are doing, have a good feel, be able to move around and do what he can do. We've seen it the past couple of weeks, maneuver in the pocket. At the same time, they have answers. This Bengals team has answers for a lot of different scenarios. So it's up to Joe to get them in the right look, the right read, and make the right play. So yeah, they need borderline perfect Joe if they're going to win on Sunday. Third thing I'm watching for, it's what I hinted at earlier. You got to contain Derrick Henry. If you let Derrick Henry go off, the past 2 weeks, Derrick Henry has gone off. The teams the Ravens have played have had no shot. And it's kind of that simple. Because if Derrick Henry gets going and he's running for a bunch of yards and has explosive runs, well, then it's going to make it that much harder to contain a Lamar Jackson, to contain his weapons, to keep him from beating you as well. And so, yeah, Lamar is in his own realm as far as challenges are concerned. But from a Derrick Henry standpoint, you can't let him get going because it's going to make it that much harder to contain a Lamar Jackson. Number 4 is forcing turnovers. This Bengals defense, they're far from perfect. We know that. Can they win the turnover battle? Can they force a couple of turnovers? I think that's huge. If they can force a couple of turnovers and force a punt or 2, you look up and maybe the Bengals have punted 3 times, but they haven't turned the ball over twice. And that's a huge edge, right? And so you don't have to go stop for stop necessarily if you can force a turnover or 2. It can be the ultimate equalizer and help balance things out. And if you're not going to be a high-end defense, well, you need a defense that's going to make splash plays. The Bengals haven't made enough splash plays on defense. Maybe this is the week that happens. Number 5, everyone talks about Derrick Henry. Everyone talks about Lamar Jackson. What about all the other guys, all the other talented weapons on this Ravens team that have underachieved to this point, but we know they're good players. I know Mark Andrews is good at football. I know Isaiah Likely. Remember what he did in week 1 is good at football. Zay Flowers, same thing. You can't let those guys get going. Don't let this Ravens trio rebound, have a big week, because if they do, let's say Likely and Flowers both combined for 150 yards plus and a couple touchdowns. That is a killer. That really hurts if you give that up. So you want to contain Derrick Henry. Obviously, Lamar Jackson's hard to stop, but containing that trio, keeping them down, let them rebound another week is huge for this Bengals team. Will they beat the Ravens? My official prediction, Bengals Ravens, coming up next. Today's video is brought to you by BetUS. BetUS is the place you need to go to right now because you're going to get a 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000 with code YouTube150. That's right. You go to betus.com today, sign up, and with code YouTube150, you're going to get that 150% bonus. And then your next 2 deposits after that, a 125% bonus, all up to $2,000. BetUS is so easy to use. They have the fastest payouts in the industry. And the thing you're going to love, well, you can do a parlay like this one. Joe Burrow over 253.5 yards is minus 112. Zach Moss's over under is 41.5 rushing yards. Jamar Chase's over under 72.5 receiving yards. Maybe you parlay 2 of those. Maybe you put all 3 of those together, and maybe it's the under. Maybe you don't think Zach Moss is going to have a lot of run this week. Regardless, get to BetUS today and use code YouTube150 to get a 150% deposit bonus up to $2,000. All right, prediction time. Bengals, Ravens, huge game. The Bengals get it done. The Bengals are going to win on Sunday. 34-30 is my pick. I think it's going to be close. I think Joe Burrow is going to play at an extremely high level. He's dialed in. He knows the importance of this game, and the Bengals know the importance of this game. And so if you have an offense that is as multiple as this Bengals team is, that is as talented as they are, from the trenches to the running back room to the tight ends, obviously receivers and quarterback we know about. We've said that for years and years and years. I think it ties together well. And they're going to have one more answer, one more play, one more option than the Ravens can keep up with. And the Ravens are going to score. It's going to be uneasy. It's not going to be pretty all the time. But the defense makes one more play than the Ravens offense. The Bengals offense makes one more play than the Ravens defense. And the Bengals get to 2-3 with a 34-30 win. I do think Mike Gesicki is going to have a big game. I think it's poised for him in the stars, so to speak, for him to bounce back in a big way. I would say 50-ish receiving yards minimum for him. And part of that is because the attention Jamar Chase is going to bring. I think T. Higgins probably has a big day. Wouldn't be shocked if Andre Yosevach does. And then these running backs. Is this the week Chase Brown has an explosive run? Would not shock me at all. Obviously, he's had a ton of awesome runs, but I mean that big run that they've been really close to breaking off would be a big boost if they could get that this week. For more, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and check out bengalstalk.com as well. Again, today's video brought to you by BetUS. For Andrew Fox-Miller, I'm James Rapien. Check out all of our videos from this week. You'll be ready to go for game day, and we will talk to you, win, lose, or draw on Sunday after the game right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk.